Hello and welcome back to Houselights. Oh my god, I forgot it. This is your one-stop shop for everything you need to hear about this week in the world of entertainment. Claire, just having you here is making me so nervous. I don't know. There's something about the air. You're making me feel a little bashful. Oh, and by the way, I'm your host, Nass. And this is my guest, Claire Donohoe. So, welcome.
Thank you for having me back.
She's a returner.
I'm very excited.
You know, last time we talked about things that we didn't understand, but I saw Claire's Google Doc, and it seems like she knows a lot about this next topic that we're talking about. She has a lot of feelings. So it's sort of like...
What can I say?
What we know and, like, what we're experts on. It's the dichotomy of our relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just like we're
just having a chat as two expert sources on the topic.
Don't quote us, but if you were to,
we'd be experts. Anyways, but so what we're talking about this week is something that we realized we said like 2 weeks ago that we wanted to do this podcast together, like, but we didn't know what we were going to talk about literally today because we have to keep it real. I didn't think about this until today. We both realized that we have the same hyperfixation right now, which is like Taylor Swift, but specifically Taylor Swift being like really polarizing, and
yes.
Just like how like I don't know, like recently she seems to be like rubbing people the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you agree?
I do.
So let me give you let's give background on how we feel about Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
Claire, why don't you start?
Okay, so much like we're admitting that we came up with this concept a little late, I'm going to say that I feel a little unqualified at just putting that out there, to talk about Taylor Swift because I feel like, you know, if you're going to talk about Taylor Swift, the immediate response is like, you have to be a super fan, a Swiftie.
A Swiftie.
Now, I like Taylor Swift's songs. You know, I haven't really paid super close attention to a lot of the, like, really intense...
Yeah, lore.
The lore, exactly. You know, I can appreciate that it's working for some people.
Like, you don't know the Easter eggs and everything.
That's what I was looking for, the Easter eggs. Like, you know, I can appreciate it, but I don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. I like her older music a little more. I hesitate to say that, though.
When you say older, like what?
Like, see, the problem here is that I couldn't on my own, you know, name an album or like...
Wow! That's pretty detached for, like, our society today.
Right, and I'm almost, like, a little bit on edge even admitting this because I feel like...
Is that why you're so nervous for this?
Yeah, yeah, way to out me, Liz. I'm a little nervous for this episode.
She's a little nervous.
But it'll go away. I feel like, be it her, like, brand or her fan base or just the intensity, I mean, that's why we're talking about her today, like, the intensity of which, like, she's regarded, you have to kind of... It's very hard to just, like, express a casual relationship to a celebrity or someone you like because the extreme fans are going to be like, well, why are you talking about this if you don't know? I mean, this is a generalization.
Right, no, I get what you're saying.
All that to say, you know, I'm a casual Taylor Swift enjoyer. Like, she's got some bangers. Do I think she's, like, the best artist out there? No. But that's fine because there are others I can listen to. And I've become recently interested, though, recently as in the Grammys specifically, but we'll get into that, in how she
presented herself,
and then how people perceived that, and how even a casual listener like myself perceived it, because I feel like it hit everyone, not just the superfans, the Swifties, pardon.
The Swifties.
So,
and see, I am... You know.
Yeah, let's take it to you here.
I am what you would say a Swiftie. Here.
Yeah, okay.
I did the Eras tour. Mm-hmm. I had a cute outfit. You would say it's cute, right?
Yeah, I saw the photos.
That's
lovely.
Good. That's good.
Showed up and showed out.
Yeah. I went to the Reputation tour as well before.
Okay, so you're,
I was going through my, I was cleaning out my closet when I moved back from Grand Rapids to, like, for 3 days, like, come back home and, like, sit before I had to move back to East Lansing, and I found an old diary from 2012, and it was like a red, like, era Taylor Swift diary. So it's like, I look back, like, I have grown up, I guess you would say, with Taylor Swift. And like that, because like my mom was into the music, like I was into it, like it was everything to me. The Mine music video had to do with, well, just the Mine song, Mine by Taylor Swift, off Speak Now, had to do with, like, divorced parents. And I was like, wow, Taylor just gets it. So it's like, you know, we connected on many different levels. So, you know, I've always been a Taylor Swift fan. I do know the Easter eggs. I have had a listening party before for such album as Midnight's. But I also see Taylor Swift and her faults, as well as maybe some things that she may be a little pretentious on.
Right.
And some things that maybe she has done a little bit wrong, or just like her marketing strategy, which is just to dominate
the industry and
everything, and intentionally do that.
Right.
Like, I mean, I think that, like, she is talented enough to do so. She is, like, one of the best songwriters of our generation. But also, like, her marketing strategies is simply to dominate every single chart ever. And that is it. I mean, can you say other artists don't intentionally do that, though?
See, that's where it gets a little bit, like, dicey for me, and like how much power are we going to place on. That's why I've recently become like really interested in this and all the commentary and like discourse around it, and that's why I also appreciate that we are coming at this from different sides of, dare I say, the fan base.
Is always about bringing people's perspectives together.
So true. Love that. That's why I love to be a guest. It's just really fascinating to me how, like, the defense, I think. Now, going forward, the disclaimer here is, like, I'm obviously not talking about every Taylor Swift fan or every fan. Like, I have my favorite celebrities myself. Right. I'm talking about, like, the extremist.
Your favorite celebrity is yourself?
No, I said I have favorite celebrities myself. Oh, God. Clear that up. I have
really
favorite celebrities. Yeah, I just love myself. I don't really pay attention to them.
Who would you say is your favorite celebrity? Like, who do you love? Who do you love in a way that, like, Taylor Swift, like, super fans love Taylor Swift?
First name coming to mind is Dylan O'Brien.
What?
I just like him.
Who doesn't?
I mean, see? What do you mean, what?
He's just a charming guy.
He's a charming guy.
And he is also in the Taylor Swift cinematic universe. Because he was in the All Too Well.
Oh my God! Yes.
Yeah.
It's all connected. I have a couple fave celebrities. Really love,
You want to know my most embarrassing one? I think you know it. My most embarrassing, like, person I have, like, a parasocial relationship with is Bo Burnham. And you know what?
I feel like I'm
sick of and tired of having to act like I don't. Because you know what? I started to play it up a little bit that I was like, his songs are cringe or whatever. No. I have to be true to myself. Because I saw, talking about the Grammys, maybe this will be a little intro. Talking about the Grammys, I saw Bo Burnham went with Phoebe Bridgers, and they looked so cute together. And you know what?
Wait, are they still...
They're still dating.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they're like still like a thing.
We could have done celebrity relationships that we don't understand.
I've literally done everything. You don't get that one? I feel like, well, they like work together in the past.
I get it, but I think I liked her and Paul Mescal because I like both of them individually.
Yeah, who doesn't like Paul Mescal, though?
Right. I like Bo Burnham. I know less about Bo Burnham. I was just a little bit shocked.
He's just, like, such a theater kid, right? Like, I mean, like,
I just thought
if you look at
they
Phoebe,
give me just, like, really great friend vibes, but that's a limited scope. I need to be aware that, like, I don't know enough about
They started out as friends. So maybe it was, like, a friends to lovers thing.
Oh, God, yeah.
You know? Who hasn't fallen victim to that, you know?
Raise your hands, guys. Don't.
Okay, I'll put it down. But yeah, anyway. So getting into the Grammys, I feel like it all sort of... I don't think it stemmed from that, actually. I feel like Taylor Swift has been getting a little bit more...
It's growing.
This flack recently.
This has been growing.
But the Grammys, like, really, like, shot
I feel like people coming from all sides of the fan base, like, varying levels of, you know, liking her music or her or what, or people who don't. People with any type of... I don't want to say, like, relationship, but perception of Taylor Swift are now kind of increasingly realizing, like, how much not only just, like, power, let's say, even, like, with the economy, even socially. Like, she has a lot of influence in those ways. But, like, emotionally. The defense people will jump to. And I think, is that because her marketing is really working? Is that because she's just gathered such an intense and large fan base?
Yeah.
What I'm saying here isn't necessarily...
Of the most intense people, which is teenage girls.
This isn't necessarily new. Like, nothing that I'm about to bring up in these notes is necessarily new information. It's just what I kind of feel like I've been seeing a lot more people look at, I don't know.
Well, I think she capitalizes off the parasocial relationship.
Right, but in a way that's like, I've seen a lot of people.
But so does every celebrity.
I mean, once you like one TikTok, of course, you see like 30 of the same nature. But I watched one in
That's
full.
Its own subject entirely.
Oh God, yeah. I liked one, and then that's, of course, opening the doors for me to see like a bunch of commentary on this and like, using the Grammys as the leader of the like video. Mm-hmm. But they all kind of touch on the same idea of like, this has been happening for a while, but now you've got this big public display of her getting up there, accepting this Grammy in kind of what I am going to say is like a fairly tone-deaf,
self-serving
manner. Yeah. And people are like, okay, wow, like, this is big. Like, it's been big to a lot of people, but it's big now.
Yeah, like, do you mean like it's not the first... Are you saying that it's like not the first time a celebrity has done that, or it's not the first time Taylor has done it? I mean, it's definitely not the first time Taylor has done it.
Right. Or a celebrity, I'd say.
Right.
I guess I mean, so, like, kind of as you said, this has been happening. She's been receiving more and more, like, I'm going to say, negative attention.
Yeah.
Even from within her own extremely tight fan base, which I think is what I find... I think that's what I'm trying to get at. I find that most interesting. It's like, this has gone so far, all the way up to the Grammys, which I view as the peak, and now even her own fans are coming on social media platforms like TikTok and being like, okay, whoa, like,
yeah, it's a lot.
Or they're doing the complete opposite, because if we're talking about being polarized, like, it's only going to get worse and worse. Mm-hmm. They're jumping on there with such an intense emotional response of, like, I know her, and I think that just speaks to the larger claim of, like, the parasocial ways in which we feel we know people, like, which we don't know her. I mean, that goes for Dylan O'Brien as well. Hard as I try to imagine it, I don't know Dylan O'Brien. But, you know what I mean? Like, it's... And it just, I guess, like I said, like, this is not new. Like, this happens with celebrities. You have a parasocial relationship, they do something, people either turn on them or, oppositely, really go crazy to defend them and die on a hill that you don't need to die on. But I just thought with Taylor Swift, it's like, oh my God, like, this is all of a sudden. Like, you see the thing with the jet. You see and this is coming from the perspective of someone who, as I stated in the very beginning, I'm a casual viewer of, like, her life and of, like, engaging with her music. So for it to reach me, like, it's just been a lot. I don't know.
No, I totally
understand. I've seen a lot of TikToks about Taylor Swift recently, guys.
No, she's been watching them all. No, and I agree. It's like we don't know her. We don't know what her intentions are. Mm-hmm. So for anybody to go on and, like, defend vehemently is a little crazy, because it's like, well, what she's doing on the surface is all that you know.
That's the other thing.
You don't know.
Is like
there might be people that do know her. But it's not like we can trust her press or marketing people to do it.
Right.
You know?
And the vast majority don't know her. And I saw someone on TikTok in one of these videos say, like, like, you really don't know her. You know what she gives you. Mm-hmm. And that rings true for every celebrity or any person, with an online persona in any form. But, like, when you're that big... This is then we lead in kind of to the next thing. I'm thinking to myself, like, when you're that big of a star, don't you have a little more... Wouldn't you have more agency over using your platform? She gets a lot of criticism for, like, not speaking out on world issues, political issues, etc. Or if she does, she kind of turns it around, it seems, to provide more of a neutral stance. People, get upset. They're like, you have this huge platform. You could make real, change, global change. And you're not.
Has before.
She has before, but now it's like, why are you picking and choosing? That whole thing. So when you're that big, couldn't you be able to do that? But also when you're that big, does that limit you?
Well, yeah.
Or in her eyes, okay.
I do respect people that need to take time to educate themselves on a topic before they, start reposting infographics on things. But... At some point, you do have fans that are in a community that might need you to speak up for them. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate the education, but there's other, and it's not just like one world issue. I'm talking about, like, all sorts of different issues, Like, and so the education aspect, I think, is important, because I think some celebrities don't realize that, and they just start trying to gauge what public opinion is doing and try and just, like, go with whatever that is.
Yeah.
And I think you see a lot of celebrities either regret that or we don't care about their opinion because we know they're not educated on it. So I think people like Taylor, like, people want more from them than just, like, a repost of an infographic. And I think that's the thing. I mean, once you get too, like you said, once you get too big, people will want more from you.
Right. But then almost, not ironically, but then she's such a large star that but you can't make everyone happy. And I think that's like that's where this becomes a little bit like we're losing a little bit of, with super big celebrities, not just Taylor Swift, you lose a little bit of like the human like pushback, the opinions we all have that just like want to like break free sometimes because you're trying so hard to capture as many people at once. But that's not going to work.
Right. It's so like a politician.
So what you're going to do is
she's counting voters.
You're going to capture one demographic.
Yeah.
Which is predominantly young white women.
Yes.
You're going to capture all of them. Not all, but most. And that's not to say that's her only demographic, but let's, be
the
real.
Largest, yeah.
And just kind of try to, like, coast. Now, you're not looking to Taylor Swift for political advice. You're not looking to these stars. They made music. These stars make music.
Yeah.
They get famous. Then they're famous.
Yeah.
However, I personally believe that comes with a level of, like, social responsibility.
Absolutely.
If you have that many people listening
to
you
saying, yeah.
in a world and in a social and political climate where not many people that need to be heard are being heard, and you have the power, you have access to, like, their attention and, like, them in a way that could really be beneficial should you work on how to use it. The thing is, like, you have all these resources.
Right.
Like, you've got money, and you've got, like, social media, and you've got, like, you have a lot. I don't know. Like, she just has a lot of ways she could be making these changes happen.
Not only does she have a platform, but she's also a billionaire.
Right. And I think that's another reason why people are like, okay. Like, you've got all the cards to play.
Right,
play
and
them.
she's been slapped on the hand. I think this is, honestly, the first thing that recently, like, the flack that's been, like, I don't know, that's been following
like building?
her.
Okay.
The first thing that I saw out of all of this is just, like, white feminism.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just, and it's, like, very obvious. And I think one of the things, like, me and Ms. Dipika, we talked about this a little bit. We were saying Ice Spice, this past summer, she had a collab with Ice Spice, and this was the first time she'd ever collabed with a woman of color in her, like, 15-year career. And it's just, like, I don't know, like, I think that's a valid point to bring up when you're talking about a celebrity that's been on this world stage for how long, and it's like, we don't see her stand up, represent anything, like, people of color or anything, and, like, obviously that's not her wheelhouse. She is a white woman, but also it comes with privilege and power and a platform that she could do a lot more.
Yeah.
Are you following?
I'm following.
Okay, great. Awesome.
I'm following.
Amazing. But yeah, that was like the first thing.
Yeah.
And then we got an even dumber thing that she started getting flack for, which is like being on a camera for too long at an NFL game. So it's like, here's this valid point about white feminism, and then I feel like it's shifted over completely to a point of like, oh no, she's in my football game too much.
And that, I have a note about this, that is where you lose, if you level those things, those two scenes on the same plane here.
Yeah.
No pun intended. We'll get to the jet.
Oh, we'll get to the jet.
Then people are going to lose the important one, which is white feminism.
Right.
And her kind of,
if you level the anger level.
Right. If you level, it's like, well, these are the same level of relevance. They're the same level of, like,
media coverage.
Right. And then it just becomes this whole, like, then what does it become? Extremely polarized. There's so much information coming in at what appears to be the same level of, like, anger and passion.
Right.
People can't sort out what people are trying to say or convey, and then it becomes polarizing. I mean, it's the pattern that you see with, like, many celebrities, and then it just fuels itself because then there starts to be divide, and then you've got everyone shouting about Taylor Swift, And then it's like, what are we even saying?
And then we've muddled the issues that are surrounding her.
Right. Or we can't clearly see the ones that we actually would like to really kind of look at. And
to talk about another large issue that follows her, literally, is her carbon emissions on her private jet. And, like, that's a large issue. I mean, I think, honestly, it's been a joke for a while, I think, that, like, she just flies her private airplane wherever she wants.
Right. Like, I saw the, 28-mile trip or something. And then, there's a lot of, like, other celebrities have private jets.
Absolutely.
People say, like, I mean, I don't know the truth on this because I'm not the one she's loaning it to, but I have heard she, like, loans the jet to people, other celebrities using it. But,
she didn't loan you the jet?
Nice.
It's
Next week.
Messed up.
Jack Sweeney, who's the student at University of Central Florida, tracks the takeoff and landings of, like, celebrity jets, politicians.
Not just her. That's a good point to have.
Not just her. Billionaires, politicians, etc. Doesn't say who is flying or where they go for safety, obviously.
Right.
And he's using publicly available data. However, as this all kind of, came out that it's like, this is the jet that Taylor Swift primarily uses, let's say, and it's doing a lot of damage in a very short amount of time, Taylor Swift and her team responds with, basically like suing him.
Yeah.
Claiming there's no need for the public to have this info other than to harass and stalk her.
Right, she's just harassing and stalking.
Coincidentally, this is from a New York Times article, by the way.
Okay.
Coincidentally, these legal letters were sent to Sweeney around the time that Swift started to receive a bunch of, like...
Right, flag
for carbon emissions.
Yeah.
So he was like, they're just trying to get me to, like, stop writing it.
Which is great public journalism, by the way. Like, wow, like, what a great way to, like... I don't know, to get them.
To draw attention to this.
Yeah, to draw attention to this.
Yeah, so she sold one of the jets, and I don't know what happens next, but then it kind of starts to bleed into this whole, like, it just goes in circles in my mind, because then it's like, then people are like, well, just, like, shut up and sing. Like, that quote has been going around.
Yeah.
Like, shut up and sing. Like, we don't want you to be, like, a political figure. We don't whatever. You've got other sides being like, you should be doing more. It's all about just, like, moral responsibility coupled with the fact that you have an insane amount of resource that so many people do not have access to. You merge those two things together and you make any decision. Let's be honest, you're going to upset someone. Like, you're never going to make anyone fully happy. And I feel like polarization comes from the combination of believing that everyone with a platform needs to speak out. But like, sometimes I feel like you do. And thinking that everything is for you. And we kind of said this could be a different topic, but I feel very strongly about the ways algorithms work to promote polarization.
Yeah.
And in a class last semester, I did a lot of work with, like, the ethics of a For You page, the ethics of the echo chamber.
That's interesting.
Like, hearing your own opinions and your own voice back to you. Like, too much of anything is bad for you, including your own ideas. And I think,
that was kind of bars, Claire.
Thank you so much. Celebrities are not your friends. Unfortunately.
No.
They are celebrities. They have usually, hopefully, a talent that, they're receiving attention for.
Yeah.
And, you'd like to believe they're a good person, but they also have, like, a lot of resource, a lot of assets, and they're on public display. I mean, I would not want to be a celebrity the way Taylor Swift is a celebrity. I think it's
a lot. It's a lot of energy.
If we steer back to the Grammys here, and this is another thing with social media, it's insane. I watched, you only have to watch, like, 20 of these videos, not even, to get this intense picture of, like, the ways in which people can manipulate video footage, the ways in which people can, just even the rhetoric they're using to describe Taylor Swift's actions or what she's doing or not doing, or any celebrity. She's just the example here. But, I watch a video of, like, someone's receiving an award, and they've got a camera pointed at Taylor Swift's reaction.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe she just, like, needed to cough. People will be like, oh, she was so disinterested. She hates that celebrity. It's this whole spiral.
Right.
Why are we focusing on that?
Well,
You're putting that on the same playing field as, like, bigger world issues, and the whole thing gets muddled, and it's like, oh, well, you hate Taylor Swift. Like, you hate the interests of women because so many women. But then it's like, no, you're orienting the interests of white women. You could go on. That's why I get so fascinated about this.
Yeah, Claire, oh my gosh. You came up with so much information.
About, like, the ways in which this works, and bringing back to your point, and even roping that in with the Grammys, the marketing and the self-promotion and even her reactions to other
well, and it's
people
like
winning,
it's like, not her fault that like the camera is on her at all times,
right?
Because people constantly, and I think that is also hard to. It's also hard to decipher if they want to catch her or not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
Because it'll just grow more marketing for their show if, Taylor Swift shaded this celebrity.
And then become more polarizing for the, like, public. Like, we see that video on our For You page, let's say. We're like, oh, my God, yeah, I really believe this video. Let's say, like, I agree with what this person is saying and the claim that they're making that her expression here indicates X, Y, or Z. Like, what are you going to see 30 minutes later?
Right,
another angle of that same thing.
Right.
And it goes on. And I just think, I mean, there's so much polarization everywhere. Mm-hmm. That is nothing new. Taylor Swift being a controversial celebrity, nothing new. We're going to see it all again in a couple of months when the election, like, starts to really pick up.
I was about to say, like, is it, it's just crazy because if you think about how much polarization there is about a singer, like, then when you really focus on, like, the things that, like, matter, like elections and, like, constituents and, like, candidates that, like, represent you in, like, government, it's like, we're only seeing a fraction when we look at, like, just a clip of Taylor Swift at the Grammys. When you look at, like, hours and hours of news coverage on, like, the people that make the decisions in this country. Like, it's crazy.
It's all framing.
Crazy.
It's framing.
Yeah.
And it has a lot to do with, like, what will people latch on to? Mm-hmm. What attention span, can we grab right now?
If it's Taylor Swift, the attention span is already grabbed there. If we're talking about polarization in politics, a lot of attention is not grabbed there.
Right. And then you can think about, let's say you've made a claim about Taylor Swift. You've grabbed attention of Taylor Swift fans. If we've established that the fan base is young white women, they're going to likely passionately speak out about this because, like, this is like their thing. Like, this is what they want to, like, spend time talking about. Then does it become that becomes negative because if you're not receiving any other, like, input, it's just.
Yeah, it's just like an echo chamber.
And it fuels itself.
Of the same perspective over and over and over again.
Right, and it fuels itself because it's like, then there's no pushback to that. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Should we talk about, like, what happened at the Grammys then?
Yes.
Because I feel like we got a lot. We needed the intro to be like, this is what has happened, and now the Grammys is the peak.
Right. So all that to say, you could have been following Taylor Swift closely, not closely, seen it on social media based on, this whole echo chamber thing we're touching on, based on the way, that she's just a big, like, star and she has a lot going on. But the Grammys is, for me, what truly was like, okay, I need to, like,
this is the precipice.
I'm, like, paying attention. Like, I'm paying attention. My eyes are open.
I have to say something that's not important. First, I hate the name Tortured Poets Department. I hate it so much. I don't know why.
Myself, no.
As a poet, Claire Donohoe. Yeah, you don't like it?
That's another thing. Like, she released it, or she.
I thought it was kind of a reputation.
She announced the release, and I was like, okay.
It's such a millennial name. Like, I know, like, it's gonna be like
a group chat.
It's based off a group chat that her ex-boyfriend was part of called the Tortured Man Club. Which I think is kind of bars. I do love pettiness. But, like, I don't know. There's something so millennial about the Tortured Poets Department. I don't know.
I saw a video of someone, like, predicting what each track will sound like.
Oh, yeah. They make those all the... And we have months until this album is out.
But it's like, someone was like, this is probably really accurate.
I can't believe Post Malone is on it. I know that this is separate from what we were talking about. I can't believe Post Malone is going to be on a Taylor Swift album. Like, what do you mean? That was not my bingo card.
There's always so much happening.
For 2024.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, no, so... And also, I'd like to say the legal case thing, like, came out, like, I think a day after the Grammys. Like, about her, like, private jet, like, legal case. Like, the lawsuit.
Yeah, this is all...
So it's like, she is, like, hurting right now.
I believe happening all at once.
Right.
Yeah.
So, basically... The Grammys. You want me to summarize it for you since you said you didn't actually watch the Grammys?
Yeah.
Oh, outed.
Once again, way to out me. I did not watch the Grammys in full. I've just...
She TikTok watched it.
I've just heard...
Which is something that I love to out.
I've also read about it.
Oh.
Via the news.
She's a reader.
What can I say? I know that she got up there and said, this is my 13th Grammy. and then immediately self-promoted
Her
the Tortured Poets, and then also pulled Lana Del Rey on stage
for Album of the Year after
Lana also lost in that category. Now, she was, I believe, like she's on the album, Midnight, and someone I read something that like she was a producer on it of some kind. This is the part where
I actually didn't know that she was a producer, and honestly, it was Lana's year. It should have been Lana's year, and SZA had a moment too.
Mm-hmm. Miley Cyrus got her first Grammy.
Miley Cyrus, that's awesome.
How is that her first Grammy though?
That is crazy. Like Party in the USA should have gotten every Grammy.
Yeah, right.
But like, yeah. So where was I even going with that? I don't even know. But Taylor pulled up Lana Del Rey on stage right after she lost the Grammy. Oh, I was saying that, like, Taylor Swift has won 3 Album of the Years. And, I mean, I understand. The Grammys is so political because it's, like, the Grammys loves to take someone that's had a big year and give them something and then move on to the next person. Because, like, Olivia Rodrigo had her big year when she did Sour. Mm-hmm. I think Guts came out too quick after it for that to be the winner. You know, they were like, oh, you had your big year, so Guts is going to win nothing. Mm-hmm. We'll let you perform. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, Billie Eilish had her big year with, like, Where Do We Go? Or, like, Where We Fall. I'm not a Billie fan. Oh, sorry. Oh. Anyways, but Billie had her year, and then they took it away. She hasn't, I think she won a Grammy last Sunday. But, like, she hasn't won, like, a huge amount anymore. Okay. They don't do that with Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is the one person that is immune to the big year strategy. Because she won for Folklore for Album of the Year in 2021. I know it's been like 3 years now, but like, I don't know. Like, it's different. It's different.
Yeah.
For her. If the last time she had won was 1989, I'd be like, okay.
Right, but then you've got...
They just wanted to break a history.
Jay-Z getting on stage and, you know, saying his thank yous, but then, like, rightfully saying, like, some of you will be robbed tonight of an award or a nomination, etc. I learned this today. Beyonce has 32 Grammys, but she's never won Album of the Year.
That is crazy.
Which doesn't, like, make sense it just doesn't make sense.
No.
Beyonce.
It's Beyonce.
It's Beyonce. But...
And also to have 32 Grammys and none of them be Album of the Year is, like, crazy.
That, you know, ties to your point of, like, Taylor Swift seems to be immune to this. I also have been thinking about, from another video that I saw, some people are saying, I just think this is, like, a really interesting take, and I'd have to, like, observe this a little more and, like, pay closer attention. But Taylor Swift, someone said, like, the veil is dropping, as in people are starting to notice the lengths at which she keeps certain artists. Like, and once again, it's just, like, my own fault for I'm not paying close enough attention to these relationships, because I'm like, well, they're going to get blown out of proportion anyway, people are going to skew it, whatever. Right. Also, like, I'm just trying to do my thing. And I think that's a valid point. But when this person said this, I was like, wait, I guess, I haven't seen anything about this. Like, even her closeness with Olivia Rodrigo, but then Olivia Rodrigo's becoming too similar to what Taylor Swift is trying to do. Taylor Swift has, like, kind of curated this angle that, like, people can't, not that they can't tap into, but she won't really, like, support it. Right. Like, her and Lana Del Rey have different...
They have different...
Like...
Audiences?
Audiences, right. Her and Olivia Rodrigo, like, Olivia Rodrigo could be a threat to Taylor Swift, some people are saying, because she's doing the, like, sad...
Right. Singer-songwriter
sad, thing. Whatever, like, sad girl
and, like,
music
Lana
thing.
Del Rey does the same thing. Right. But, like, it's very different. Different audience. She, like, Taylor Swift is the Pinterest girl, Lana Del Rey is the Tumblr girl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's like that, but, so they're just in different audiences, but, I mean, I'm kind of butchering the point here of, like, this video I'm thinking of, but, like, I don't know, it gave me an eerie feeling of, like, how far away will she keep certain artists who are kind of doing a similar thing to her. Well, then people are commenting on that. They're like, well, duh, it's strategic. It's marketing. It's, you know, she has...
Taylor Swift has gotten so big that she's a brand.
Yeah. And that would, you know, and I am going to say, like, I mean, it sounds like we're just, like, really hating Taylor Swift right now.
No. Because
it would be hard to be because then someone else on the flip side, there's always going to be a counterpoint. And someone's going to say, like, well, you guys forget that she's also just, like, a person who's trying to...
Yeah.
This is her career. This is blossoming her career.
But I will say it is weird that she called Olivia Rodrigo her daughter... Right, her like Modern Music daughter, back when she first
starting,
released,
and then she won a Grammy, and Taylor Swift was like, "Oh wait, just kidding." No, I mean, I don't know that.
I don't know that
because we can only see what they're giving us,
right? And so for
none of it's new, but it's still breaking my brain.
Yeah, no, and it's like we're saying like, oh, everybody has their own opinion. We have our own opinions. Yeah. We're sharing them literally on a platform right now. So are we just the problem too?
Probably.
Oh God.
Yeah.
How could this happen?
If you feel like this conversation has gone in circles in many ways, that's because it has, because the topic
it was designed that way.
Polarization, marketing, the ways in which people grow fan bases and then utilize the fan base, literally utilize their passion and their attention spans, or utilize what they receive from them, such as money, such as,
and Taylor Swift has
access to other celebrities,
excelled in both.
Right. And people are saying, like, she's doing this on purpose. This is a calculated thing. And I guess, though, as I've, said a bunch of times, though that's not necessarily new, I think maybe coming from the perspective of someone who doesn't follow her super closely, like, I all of a sudden was like, you're right. Like, let's all think about, the calculated ways in which celebrities are doing this. Not just her, but she's just a big name right now.
But from someone who's a fan... Can we blame her for trying to be calculated to gain a following? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right? But then
let's think about like a state news budget meeting. Like we're planning like newspaper content and like talk, and we try not to talk about clicks because we obviously love like journalism here, but we're like, wow, this, even just saying like this story did really good. We should do more of that. That is exactly every meeting ever with any pop star, anything ever. Like that's what it's a business. It's a business. Taylor Swift is a bigger business than a lot of people, but she still has to run a business.
Yeah.
Not that she needs to make any more money. Oh my God. How do you even look at $1 billion and be like, yeah, I'm gonna spend it?
I don't know.
Like, how is that even like a number to people? Well, like, I don't think it is a number.
It's
once
not.
You get that rich.
Yeah. The Eras Tour raised the U.S. economy $4.6 billion.
That is crazy.
$billion.
Goes the economy. Helps everybody. Hurts nobody. You know what I'm talking about? Joe Biden said that once.
Oh, God.
Goes the economy. That's what I say whenever I get a little coffee. I'm like, it goes the economy, helps everybody, hurts nobody. But who is it hurting?
I don't know. But all that to say,
I don't know.
I wrote that bullet point and then didn't. I wrote that bullet point to call back to the point that like she does have like, it is undeniable the power she wields in absolutely. Multiple categories of life, including money, the economy.
Yeah.
Clearly her fan base, they would die for her. And then even like socially, she's the time she encouraged people to register to vote. She didn't tell them who to vote for. She just encouraged them to. Like, stuff like that. Like, you have the power to do so, and it's not going to take much. I do just want to shout out the power to do so, and it doesn't take much. Boy Genius at the Grammys wore ceasefire pins, or like pins with a symbol for that. And then in an interview, which someone was like, never give Phoebe Bridgers media training, because she got the mic, and she's like, I would just like to say, the former president of the Recording Academy, Neil Portnow, who's facing like sexual assault allegations. God. Yeah, just what's new there. But she was basically like, you're not dead yet, but when you are, I hope you rot in piss.
Oh my God.
Like the red carpet. And then like the rest of them were just standing there.
That's like, yeah, girl.
They're like, thank you for having us.
I love Boy Genius.
But like, we're not gonna deny that there's problems here. And then when artists get up there to accept their awards or
they look
have
so
the mic,
cute together,
have the mic on a red carpet, you got to say your piece. Like, I think that's important. And it didn't take much.
No,
but that's an example. I mean, there could always be more done there, but I just want to talk about that because she said rotten piss.
And and here's the thing, I don't think it hurts their outrage because that's their fans. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's their fan base.
Then it comes back to fear. People, make the claim, but Taylor Swift would never do that because she would lose too much. She would lose too many people.
Right.
Too many people who don't want to get political, who don't want to engage in these situations.
Right.
And then it's well, you could help. You don't have to do it all by yourself, but you could help be a change to engage them, is a claim, many make. And it's weird. It's also weird because we're growing up in a time, there's no rule book on how to deal with the power you've been given socially that blossoms into other resources. What I mean by this is there is no, what do we do when a star gets super big and then you can promote their music and post 1,000 photos of them on social media by the minute, and then people can make people have the free ability to discuss that and then circulate it. This has never happened before. So people have, a lot of opinions about how it's going. Here we are to discuss them. In conclusion, none of it makes sense. And, like the music you like, but question people with a lot of power and question authority, but question your parasocial relationship because it is alarming the ways in which you can forget.
Yeah.
And, we're no exception.
No.
The ways in which you can forget, hey, they might have some other motive. They might be told by a team to post this, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. The whole Taylor Swift, the week of Taylor Swift. This is the week of Taylor Swift for me.
No.
As a non-Swiftie.
I love that for you.
All of a sudden, I'm
really
wait.
getting into it. Wow, you are
here we are.
You're just dropping bar after bar, Claire, honestly. But I feel as a fan, I wasn't giving my sweat. I love her music. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I just and I have two things. I love her music. I don't think. No. I was just about to do something that we were just saying. I was I don't think she has bad intentions, bruh. We literally were just saying we don't know her intentions,
right?
But I love her music.
You're made to believe that she doesn't.
Right.
Or you're made to believe that she is based on who's directing media.
Claire, you have really... I'm going to think about it for the rest of the night. But, okay, I have one more thing. We all know she's the marketing queen, right? So there was a theory that she's literally creating all this flack so that she can release Reputation, Taylor's version, to be at her lowest reputation again. What? And why do I kind of believe it?
I didn't hear about that.
And why do I kind of believe it? What if? What if she was creating, all this, drama and, snubbing Celine Dion at the Grammys to,
We didn't even get to the... Oh, my God.
Wouldn't that be bonkers?
There's so much. I did not hear about that. So that's the other thing. It's there's so many of these complex theories and Easter eggs, and I can appreciate the idea that they're happening.
It's because they're Swiftie fans. You have to always try to decipher what she's thinking. So now they're actually, but I do think people are a little crazy with the Easter eggs.
I mean,
she made them that way.
Easter egg, they can be good, especially if you're executing them in the music later on.
Yeah.
I think we're getting to a point now, though, where it's getting so big that people are now, truly invested in, this is how she's going to frame the next multiple months of her life. And we're all going to just, make sure that happens.
Yeah.
So that we can be correct about our assumption that when she releases Reputation, that's what will... It's just the investment.
Yeah, framing her social life.
Yes, the investment.
Around an album. That's
this
crazy.
Is beyond the writing of the song now. This is, your social life, which has become a platform. You have literally become a brand and a platform, and it's just so...
I just think it's so scary when people become a brand.
I did not hear about that theory.
Houselights brand.
Crazy, yeah. So our brand is...
Houselights, Insane News.
Support local journalism.
That is my brand, actually.
Support small businesses.
Love it.
And
Slay.
And... I can't.
Claire doesn't want to say that. All right, well, thanks for coming on, Claire. I had such a good conversation with you. It was really philosophical. I can't help but feel more knowledgeable after I talk to you. I really do.
That is such a high compliment. Thank you.
No, but for real, she's bringing the class to Houselights.
This is all paraphrased
that I simply can't.
Various news articles and TikTok, which I hate to cite, but it's the truth. I'm just here to discuss what I've seen.
She's just a girl. She's just a girl.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
On Houselights.
I'll see you guys next week. Bye.